The lives of these drovers wasn't easy. It was hard, dirty work. Sometimes there were some real tragedies. This poem's called The Funeral. We all took turns at digging 'cause we only had one spade. The ground was hard and awful dry, so now and then we'd trade. We said it was sweat we wiped from our eyes, but that weren't exactly so, 'cause that hole that we were digging was a grave for Billy Joe. When we made camp last evening, everything was fine and good. Bill went out to help the cook to gather in some wood. He spied this old dead cottonwood limb, big enough to burn all night. But he didn't see the rattler that lay coiled there out of sight. He dragged that limb back to the camp. It took all the strength he had, and by the time he got it there, his arm was swelling bad. Now, old Charlie, he's part Indian, and he knowed how to go about to lance the wound and to make it bleed and to suck the poison out. But it didn't make no difference what he done or tried. His arm just kept on swelling until midnight, when he died. We wrapped him in his blanket, laid him gently into place, while Jim took his harmonica and played Amazing Grace. And then Curly said he thought we ought to bow our heads and pray, but then his voice got all choked up. He just turned and walked away. Him and Bill were buddies even before they joined this crew. They was going to California when the drive was through. But there weren't no time for sympathy, no time to mourn a friend. You just do what you have to as fast as you can. Head north up that trail again. So we filled the grave and we covered it with some rocks and stones we found so the coyotes couldn't dig him up and scatter his bones around. The cowboy's funeral out on the range is a pretty simple thing. No fancy worded eulogy or hired choirs to sing. No flowers or tombstones mark the graves that along these trails are scattered. But Bill told me once he believed in God, so I guess that's all that mattered. Now, our cook had a piece of 2x12 that he'd used for a wagon seat, and he said we could use it for a headboard if we'd carve it up nice and neat. And old Dutch loved to whittle. He was handy with a knife, and in a couple of words he wrote the story of Bill's life. He carved this simple epitaph in letters neat and small, just Billy Joe, a cowboy. But I guess that says it all. On my way back to Texas after the drive, I rode by that pile of stones, and I finished the prayer that Curly had started, and then a sound sent a chill through my bones. A rattlesnake lay coiled in the shade of that board. I knew that buzzing sound well, and without even thinking, I pulled out my gun and I blowed him plumb into hell. Now, I know there ain't nothing going to bring Billy back, and I guess it don't matter no more, but I cut off them rattles, and I thought to myself, this might help even the score.